Okay, thank you everybody for coming to Breaking into Video Games. We appreciate you taking the time out of your busy con schedule to come and visit with us today. We've got a great panel of really experienced game developers from different walks of life, different experience. So I can attest that these guys can definitely answer your questions and point you in the right direction. So let's get started. Our first panelist here next to me, his name is Z. He is from Serenity Forge, and you can check out their games on the show floor. Please give it up for Z. The lovely lady next to him is Pegi Bryant. She is from Boulder Games, which is also here. And the other lovely lady sitting next to her is the very talented concept artist, Stoddard. And the gentleman next to her is Bryant Robbins. He owned a game studio here in Colorado and currently works with Amazon, has lots and lots of experience. Please give it up for Bryant. And last but not least is the lovely Serafina Pechan, who is the co-founder and lead designer at Alkaline Games. Please give it up. And I'm HB Duran. I'm the founder of VideoGameNewsSource.com and MySilentHill.com, and I have a background in video game journalism and concept art, so we've got a great show for you. I guess we have 15 minutes, so we have a lot of time for questions. Why don't we start off just real briefly? Tell us how you broke into video games.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Hi guys, I'm Z from Serenity Forge, and the way that I broke into video games, I guess it's kind of unconventional, but I guess more popular here in Colorado, and that is, I just kind of started my own thing. When I was in high school, I tried to apply to every single studio in the state, and I think like back in the 2000s in Colorado, there's like maybe 2 groups of people that were working on video games, and I think I just emailed all of them that I could find, and the only reply I ever got was, hey man, I'm just a kid in my mom's basement, so I'm not really like a company or anything, I can't take interns. And when I saw that, I was like, hey, I'm a kid in my mom's basement, maybe I can start my own thing too. So that's why I went ahead and just grabbed a couple friends from high school and decided to start my own team. And throughout college, we kept on working on it, and after college was over, we all started doing this full time, and miraculously it worked out through a lot of luck and some hard work. And here we are. So, yeah.
I'm Peggy from Boulder, and very similarly, I think that there's not a really defined path, like you must do these things to get into video gaming. I actually started out in the ad business, and it was a good transfer of skills to gaming because it's a lot of art and a lot of design focused, and my partner's a developer, and then with a little bit of luck, we got to do some hand-on-town work, so way back when. And that was our first kind of foray into this. We had done some design work and some trade show work, so it was a really good transfer of skills, and that was our first video game.
Hi, I'm Stoddard. I worked on Dragon Veil, one of the top grossing mobile apps for many years, for 5 years. And before that, I wanted to get into animation. So I was in animation, I worked on Metalocalypse and Superdale, interned at Nickelodeon and stuff like that. So how I got into games was kind of sideways. I accidentally got into it because I wanted to get out of Los Angeles. And ended up applying to backflip and getting in and really experiencing the rise of mobile gaming from the inside via Dragon Veil. So, and now I'm freelance and experiencing that side of the business as well.
So I got into games way back when I was actually still in college. This is back before there was really any game design programs in school, but I was going to the local IGDA chapter meetings here, and basically just went there for every month for a couple of years, and at some point it was my senior year of college. One of the guys who ran a studio here in town said he was looking for And then after that, I keep making small web-based games, which at the time I was like, all right, this would be cool when I get done with college. I'm gonna go make real games. And by the time I got out of college, I realized I was making real games. And I think sort of in my head it was similar to what a lot of the rest of us felt. Was like I felt like I came in a little bit sideways. I felt like I was making real games, but it turns out the definition of games is a whole lot bigger than just making Xbox or PlayStation titles with a big huge studio. So definitely encourage everybody to expand your horizons and just try to make stuff.
Hi, my name is Serafina. I got into games also early in college. I was not studying game development, but I had grown up playing board games my entire life. And when I started playing PC games, I fell in love with them and wanted to make them. So not having the experience having designed games, but wanting to design them on my own, I went to a board game manufacturer, which is what I was familiar with, from Games Workshop. And I said, hey, I'd like to turn your game into a computer game. That way the mechanics everything was already done and I didn't have to figure that part out. And so that's where I started. I found a game I wanted to turn into a computer game, and then from there I started designing my own, went to my own company, fast forward to now, and I'm transitioning into VR games.
Oh, great. So let's see, raise of hands, who here is currently making games? Small handful, great. And so let's go ahead and, I guess, let's open up the floor. Let's see what kind of advice we can give today. Let's raise your hand if you have a question for our panelists. All right, down with the glasses, yes.
So do you think QA testing is a good way to get into the industry these days? Or is that sort of like a way of...
I'm curious.
Sorry.
Is QA testing a good way to break into video games?
Yes. It's straight up, yeah. I know a lot of people who have started as QA and then become either engineers or producers, or it's a good way to get familiar with the whole process and understand what makes a video game good, because you're playing it all day, so you know if you're having fun or not.
I also do want to add on to that. I would say, unfortunately, yes, as well, that most of the people that I notice that get into the game industry through QA tend to build up a negative cynicism towards AAA studios, especially. I mean, Activision QA's division is like a third of how indie games are formed. Like you go through a program like that, it's kind of hard to not go do your own thing. But the path usually for a lot of people, I've heard a lot of paths for QA analysts that move up from entry-level QA into associate producer roles, if you're not so much into coding or anything like that, or you can kind of get into more engineering roles as well. I think especially for tech-related topics, QA is definitely a great place to go.
I would also say that it's not the only way to go. It's definitely a clear path and absolutely valid. Tons and tons of people in the industry have made it in through QA, but especially, as you were saying, that if you want to be a programmer and you've got the skills and the ability to do that, you don't have to start at QA. So don't look at that as the only way through, but it's certainly a valid one.
And also don't make that your only skill. Yeah, make sure you actually have some other core skills that are useful in game development.
If you are doing QA, and if you're able to get a job doing QA, you actually have access to a ton of people that can help you get to that next place. So my recommendation would be like, okay, take that QA job and make something. And so decide to make a game. And you're going to have to do all of these pieces and learn how to do all these pieces, but you'll have this great network of people that you work with. They'll see you trying to do these things, and all of a sudden you're going to get skilled in something they need. And they're going to need something, you're going to be like, I can do that. And that's your transfer out.
I'd like to add something else about QA. Don't look at QA as the dungeon or the bowels of game development. It's an extremely important role. And don't treat it like you're just here just to get to somewhere else. Treat it as professional as anything else that you would.
Great question. In the back, yes.
When it comes to young programmers like myself, how do you wind up getting into a professional company when you don't have the level of experience that you guys would have?
Finish something.
like honestly, like the biggest thing that I have seen, the best thing that I see on someone's resume, even if they don't have anything that's like AAA titles or anything, just finish something. If you can finish something, then you're the person that I want to work with over anyone else that has those skills, even if they've gone to great colleges. It's so hard to finish something. So just, and it won't be the best thing in the world, but the next thing you do is going to be a little bit better. The next thing you do is going to be a little bit better. And be okay with that.
You can also get skills outside of game industry as well. You can show finished products outside of it. You can also build apps, products, and if you want to at some point transition into games, make sure that in parallel you're also doing games on your own or on the side. And you will gain experience even if it's not specifically in games.
And I want to add on to the finish something. I think that's probably the goal. And the easiest way to finish something is to start small. If you can start a bunch of small projects and finish all of them, have like 10 small games, like portfolio is way better than one half finished MMORPG or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Great question. Yes, Caesar.
What are some programs that are free to get started?
Do you mean like to learn or to use?
To both.
It's like for programming, or
Yeah, sort of like Unity or...
Yeah, Unity is probably there's a lot of tutorials. It's easy for someone to step into that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's probably a hierarchy depending on how comfortable you are with coding. My personal hierarchy for recommendation tends to be the first one that I recommend to anyone who has zero programming knowledge and just wants to do video game narratives or interactive narratives would be Twine. It's an online web-based tool where you can write essentially branching narratives. You can link YouTube videos and music or whatever it is. The next step, if you want to get a little bit more complex, RPG Maker is actually a really good tool for creating your own stories or general basic Japanese style RPGs. It uses Ruby, I believe, in there. So if you want to play something a little more complex, I believe recently it started supporting some C language, C# maybe as well. The next step beyond that, I usually recommend Game Maker by Yo-Yo Games. That is a engine that supports GML, which is somewhat of a basic language, I believe, and you can also export your own C-based DLLs as well. And then obviously the next one will probably be around Unity, which is really easy to get into, like Peggy said, and also it's always C# or JavaScript.
is C# really the way to go? Like, what kind of code do people really need to know today in today's games?
I personally think that as long as you have good fundamentals in either C# or Java, that you're fine. Either one is okay for us.
Yeah. Yeah, I think smaller companies may not have this luxury, but any company that's kind of got to a little bit of the size, we're far more interested in somebody that knows how to code than the specific language that you know at a given time. I would guarantee those of us in the stage that are programmers, we've shipped in multiple languages in our careers. I've probably shipped like 8 or 9 different languages. You're going to learn new stuff, so don't get hung up on what language you're learning or choosing the best one. Learn something and get really good at it is far more important.
Yeah, I do believe that, like, as of 2012, the year might be wrong, 99% of all video games that are released on the market for profit are written in a C-based language. I believe like over 70% of that was in C# due to Xbox and a lot of Unity games at the time. So there's that. Like, it is. If you're gonna pick one to start with, maybe it is the one that would be the easiest to start with, so that you don't hesitate to start on.
I'd like to add something that also I think depends partly what you want to program. I mean, if you want to be a graphics programmer, physics programmer, if you want to specialize and pay attention to what is being used for those specific areas.
Great. Yes, sir, agree.
How functional is the RPG Maker game maker, Ruby code, and a friend system for development?
What do you mean for friend system?
Close friends that you have working together to make a game.
I mean, I guess again, it goes back to kind of what kind of goals you have for your video game. So I mean, when it comes to RPG Maker, that's actually the event I started with. I was like in middle school at the time. So it's a really robust system that has created a ton of different commercial, very successful commercial games. And I mean, like To the Moon sold probably something like 2 million copies at this point, and it's $10 for a copy. I mean, even though it's on point. But so if you're able to tell like a good story, RPG Maker is a great place to go. However, like you said, your Ruby is kind of a hard language to kind of get started with, and also probably doesn't help you super well getting into other addictions either. And working in a team probably just makes it even harder. I believe all large commercial RPG Maker games that are successful are usually led by one single developer. So maybe that kind of answers your question.
If you're looking at collaborating with people, make sure you're extremely comfortable with version control systems and find what works for you. There's plenty of open source ones out there that you can use to collaborate.
Great question. Okay, well, I'll ask one. Actually, or for anyone, actually. Let's say someone wants to make art for video games. For a friend. Asking for a friend. What kind of things do you need to show in your portfolio? There's a risk of being too diverse versus being too specified because you need to be able to match an art style if you're not the lead. Does someone need to know 2D and 3D? What would you recommend for a nice portfolio to show someone if you're interviewing?
Right. So it's a tricky one because, again, I'll say it goes back to what do you want to do. So if you really want to be in AAA games, if you want to be working for Blizzard, you're going to want to tailor your portfolio to Blizzard. You're going to want to make big shiny shoulder pads and shiny crazy elves. Like, fill your portfolio with that, be the best you can possibly be at shiny edge-like elves, and that will help you get into Blizzard. However, it's really hard to get into Blizzard, right? So, if you're trying to get into smaller game studios, you do want to be able to show a breadth of stuff because they're going to need you to do a bunch of different things. So, make sure you can do character design and environment design. If you're looking to do more AAA games versus mobile games, you're going to want to make sure for AAA that you're better at rendering and lighting and able to really turn things so that when you hand off to the 3D modelers, they know what they're doing. If you want to do mobile, you're going to want to specialize in more kind of cartoony, pop icons, stuff like that. Mobile always needs UI artists. That's kind of like the highest demand job is UI. So if you can do UI, so like doing graphic icons and borders and menus, if you like doing that sort of stuff, mobile is a great place to go. Like doing characters and like creatures and candy. Right. Then mobile is a good place to do it. So like it's about what you want to do. It's not necessarily like you gotta match what you enjoy doing with what's out there. You can't just be like, I just want to get into games. Vaguely games. You have to be focused and specific about what you want to do and then use your portfolio to get there.
So is it better to have a portfolio, just like sort of a portfolio reel of static videos, or work with other people and actually have like here games that I put out that have some of my artwork, even if it's collaborating with some other locals and less professional kind of thing?
So as an art lead, when I was looking to hire, I was looking to hire for Dragonville. So I was looking for somebody who understood character design, creature design, anatomy, how animals moved, because I was looking specifically for somebody to draw dragons, right? And for that, I needed a portfolio. I needed a portfolio site, like preferably just a website that you can click into and be like character, environment. Yes, they can do things I need them to do. If you're an animator, obviously you need a reel. If you're a generalist, if you're somebody who can make the character and then animate it and import it into Unity and like actually create a thing, then yeah, I think a reel would be appropriate because that's showing off all of your skills at once. However, being like a generalist and being really good at all of the general things, that's rare and really hard to do. But that's great. Like,
Yeah, I would add that there's far more indie game developers out there with developer art in their games that if I were an artist, which I'm not, I would probably go find one of this. I would probably go find someone that was trying to launch a game and had developer art and call them, and they will take your art and they will send you cookies because they will be so happy to like have some help with their game. And there's a lot of people out there that are in that space.
I guess one last thing to add here, just from personal experience, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, especially Ashley, you've probably seen more portfolios than I have. But like whenever we open up artist applications, there's always a huge discrepancy that we see between the number of applicants who are focused on being concept artists compared to how much concept art we actually need in our team. It's like the vast majority of artist applicants they want to be a concept artist. And if you look at a game studio, especially a smaller indie studio, I think concept artists usually like the least of their worries because you have that idea, you already know what you need. You just need the power the production to actually create the in-game assets. So I think if you go out there and really again, maybe it depends on what you do, but if you go out there and really advertise yourself as a concept artist, when you're applying to a lot of these smaller indie teams, it's going to be difficult for your voice to be heard.
that's actually a really great point because I think with coming from a background in animation, concept art is that's what you really want to do, but you really got to be able to do turnarounds and be able to show that you can create final finished work. And so that is very helpful to have in your portfolio, especially if you're applying to indie games. If you want to be a generalized concept artist for the games, you're right, that's really tough. It's hard to find a company that can afford to have an extended R&D period to figure out what the style's going to look like, which is really the only time you use a concept artist. For the rest of the time, artists are making production work for games.
I would like to add something. I'm not an artist, but I've hired artists. And when hiring artists, we'll look at your portfolio, and the first thing that we think of is, okay, for assuming that it's what you're an artist, assuming that will that art work in games? Will it work with our technology? Is it too high poly? Can they do low poly? How adjustable is this artist to what needs to happen technically in the actual rendering engine for us? So it's not if it's on mobile or if it's on a PC or if it's physics-based versus just a 2D. It really depends. And we think, when we would look at your portfolio, it really in our back of our heads like, okay, that's beautiful art. That'll never work. And if we can't find, you can be the most amazing, fantastic artist on the planet, but if we can't find something in your portfolio or somewhere online that shows us that's going to translate into our little low performance game, we're less likely to actually hire you. So we like to see both.
I would add to that, if you're an artist and you learn some of the skills to put it in an engine, it's way more valuable to me. Like if you know Maya, great. But if you know how to get your Maya animations into a game engine, that's better.
She's absolutely right. We would take a slightly less talented artist that knows how to actually work with our engine versus somebody who doesn't. Absolutely. Huge time saving.
And I will say, unfortunately, I think as a 2D artist, it makes me sad, but there's a lot more demand for 3D artists out there, so if you're not really sure which direction you want to go in, 3D art is probably more likely to get you hired. Yeah. Don't forget your fundamentals though. Yes. The fundamentals are very important.
Yes, in the sure.
So you talked about portfolios a little bit earlier. I'm just curious about your opinions on the hard copy print portfolios versus going more into the digital website realm.
Give me a website.
So you prefer a website portfolio as opposed to a physical one that you bring?
Every person I've looked at to hire, every job application I've done, you need a website. It's very rare that you're called into an interview where you can actually present a paper portfolio until you show them a website you're not gonna, and it's a great way to get found also. It's like Instagram, Tumblr, DeviantArt, more Beyonce, ArtStation. Those are the places you want to go if you're looking to be discovered by companies as a professional artist.
It's also great if Z and I work together and Z says, hey, I need a character artist, and I'm like, oh, you know, Ashley, let me send you your thing. I'm not going to do that with a paper. I mean, it's just, there's no paper. If you send me a paper thing, I throw it away, sorry.
I've been doing games since the 90s, and I haven't seen papers even since then. At most, somebody might put it on a flash drive. At best. Even then.
From a technical standpoint too, I believe paper is kind of CMYK, and video games are RGB. So when you print out art, it doesn't look the same as it does in the actual game. So a lot of times, like you look at a print portfolio and you're like, I wonder what this would look like on the screen because it's not the same. So I mean, even that alone would just make me doubt my judgment. Right? So in addition to everything else that's totally correct.
Yes, ma'am, sir.
I guess same question, but applying to music and composers. How do you work with composers? How do you find them? What do you expect from them, essentially?
Website also. So we have had people like, we do a lot of social media for our games and things like that, and people have come to us because they said, hey, I make music and I'd love to try and help you out. And so we've actually found some good people that way that have reached out to us that way. There's a lot of people. So,
from my experience, the unfortunate thing is that I feel like audio engineers and musicians have to try way harder than any other role in this industry. Whenever you go to anything, you can guarantee that the audio people always have their business cards with them, with their SoundCloud link on there, and you just know that they're the most outgoing people that you'll meet at any kind of party in the industry, because that's usually what it takes to be recognized. Like cold emails, I think it's what a lot of audio people do, and that's usually we come across something that's just at the right time. Oh, hey, maybe we need to start looking for someone. Oh, hey, the day after someone emailed us happened to be the right person we're looking for. And it's really kind of luck-based almost. But it's kind of sad.
It's kind of sad, and then I know you forever. I mean, I've been using some audio people because I know exactly what they're good at,
unfortunately, being audio is probably the hardest space to get into in games because, like even massive AAA games may have 2 or 3 full-time sound engineers, and the smaller games, it's like we'll have a small little contract that will keep somebody busy for a week or 2. So it's just the volume of sound that we need generally is far outpaced by the number of people who want to create it. So,
and it's exactly at the end too. It's a hard thing because like I need you, and by the way I need you Tuesday because I have to show this thing next Wednesday or whatever.
But I will add, do not be discouraged by that. Just because it's hard doesn't mean it's impossible, and especially if you're passionate for what you do, you're going to make it work, and that's how audio people make it work. They're so passionate that they make it work.
I've actually hired full-time audio composers. That was quite a while ago. To be honest, I probably wouldn't do that again because of what they said, which is you sort of need them a lot right towards the end, but not right at the beginning. There are a lot of good audio user groups. No. I would say like the IGDA groups, special interest groups. That would be excellent to join. Meet other composers, get to know for audio. I don't know if you meant composing or audio. I'll put it all together. I'm just going to sound. What you hear. What I would do is look into some VR stuff right now, actually. There's a little bit of a dearth of sound in VR, and it's really interesting.
It's really important.
Yeah, it's more important, I would argue, than actually in games. And that's where audio is really going to just flourish, and you might have a better chance. But don't give up. I know tons of people make a living doing audio. Yeah, like you said, they work it. big time.
But that's a good point. There's probably fewer people that have that PR specialty that like, okay, hey, I do this, and then you do something that no one else does.
And the film too, like a lot of people cross into film, TV shows, or whatever.
And I know, like, I don't have direct experience with it, but I know that our audio guy back then, he put a lot of his work onto libraries and made royalties off of that instead of getting hired directly by companies. And that seems to be a legit way to do it too, because I know that we buy sounds off off online libraries. So. Yeah.
Oh, something else to add really quick that I just remembered. Like they said, with artists who are, I consider audio people artists, just of a different medium. And if you can add technical prowess to your portfolio, then do it. If you don't have, rather than just providing sounds, if you can put them in there, if you can work with an engine, if you have at least a modicum of technical experience working with the different engines, when somebody says, hey, how do you sound? Oh, great. Are you familiar with this SDK for this particular product? Can you work? Yes, I can. Oh, great. Or I'm not. I work with this engine, but I'm sure I can figure this out. If you at least are able to say that sort of thing, that will put you in a
Compression, sound files are huge, so compress them, and all the different ways that we do it.
Yeah, and even some of the more technical aspects that aren't integrating with an engine, but just like knowing that we need not a full mix soundtrack, but it's like these pieces need to be able to loop and loop seamlessly, and these other pieces need to sound good, and they play at any arrangement point during that soundtrack, and how to layer that stuff together, just sort of the aspects of how it needs to flow in the game. What you're saying about the group's gang, G-A-G, is like the Game Audio Networking Guild or something like that. That's definitely the premier kind of group I would look into for audio stuff.
So I guess heading on to that, where do you guys go to buy licensed tunes, licensed music, something like that?
Soundranger.
I go to artists that we like. Yeah, we'll find an artist or that we like, and then we'll go, all right, artist, is your music or your sound available? My partner is big into music, so he completely scours everything across, which goes back to online. Make sure your stuff's online. Make sure you can find it.
Great question. Yes, ma'am.
I actually have a question for you. How did you get into video game journalism? Did you like journalism degree? Did you start a blog? How did that kind of become?
I started a fan site for Silent Hill because I was just nerding out about it in like 1999 or 2000, and it was my very first website. It was like a free website somewhere, and I decided to make it better by reaching out to some of the people involved in the game, and they were like, yeah, sure. And we got a couple of voice actors to do interviews, and then and just showing that portfolio. And then I didn't set out to be a game journalist, which is funny, just me personally, because I was passionate about it, and I just wanted to write about it, and if someone read about it, cool, and if they didn't, oh well, that's fine, I love it. And I found that it was a lot more popular than I thought. At the time, I was one of the only sites about the game. And then there was another site called Girl Gamer that is gone now, but at the time, when you joined, you got your own blog on the site, kind of like Game Informer does. And I just started writing things about Silent Hill and some other games I was playing on there, and I got contacted by one of the co-founders and said, hey, do you want to maybe contribute some stuff for us? And it just took off from there. So I kind of got it like in there, like kind of a side way. I don't have a degree in anything really. I have a degree in YouTube and fake it till you make it. That's my degree. I can do that, sure. And then sign the contract and you're on YouTube figuring out how to do it, and then you deliver. I now work, I went from Girl Gamer to some other sites, and I work full-time doing journalism. So what they wanted when they hired me is they want to see your written work. So yeah, like start a blog and then just make it as professional as you can. Like Pew Pew Cat over here, she has a really professional looking site. So like, you know, if I was hiring for journalists or something like that, like I'm always looking for contributors, so come talk to me. But yeah, like I would look at something like hers and see, wow, you know, she's organized, she posts on a regular basis, she can spell, she knows grammar, and she knows what she's talking about. It's not, games, it's like, you know, is this game right for you? This is what I like about this title, or this is some news from this publisher, this is really interesting. So just make sure that it's less opinion-based and maybe more from a journalistic point of view. Even if it's not just news, like you don't have to just report news, but maybe say, this is why this is interesting, or this is why, look a little deeper, and get quotes if you can. You'd be surprised. If you just email people, they'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll give you a quote. You don't have to be a huge site to get quotes. So.
Do you find that it's like you would personally hire someone if it was just like they have a very specific thing that they write about, or if it was kind of a combination of movie, TVs, and video games?
Like for me, for my site, obviously, you know, it's video games, obviously, because it's video game resource, so it's kind of right. But the other site that I write for is marketing, so, you know, it's kind of like what they said is, you know, make your portfolio or your examples for what you want. So write what you're passionate about, because trust me, you're going to write about a lot of stuff that's not very interesting. If you just go, hey, I want to write, they're going to give you all the boring stuff. I still have to do some boring stuff, but they know I prefer video games to film, and so they try to give me those as much as they can. So yeah, write about what you're passionate about, even if it's not games, if it's just something like beauty is huge, or you know, it could be about tabletop games, it could be about cars, it could be about anything that cats, it could be passion, just whatever you're passionate about, write about it intelligently, and people care more about your work than they do about that journey. Yeah. Yes, sir, in the middle.
Have any of you had any experience with funding games? And if so, have you used crowdfunding? Have you used more traditional means of funding? And what do you found disadvantages or advantages to different ways of funding?
I've been unsuccessful at it. It's super hard to do. And the best thing to do is look community to be even more successful at it.
I mean, I guess it's always a headache when people talk about the word funding, because it sounds, I don't know, it sounds so like
terrible.
Yeah,
Sounds very.
Yeah. So I think really the question you should ask yourself is, how can I get myself done, right? And then money is a tool to achieve that. So I guess if you're talking about funding in that regard, then I mean funding could come from all sorts of different sources. Like it doesn't have to be money funding. It could be people. It could be giving away portions of your company to others, finding co-founders and stuff like that.
Finding people that are wanting to put their name on their, you know, audio people that don't have credit. We've self-funded all our games, which means that we've taken work, some of the boring stuff sometimes. We take the profit from the big work that we get to fund our games, and that's.
So in regards to actual money though, crowdfunding is pretty dead right now. I definitely do not recommend launching. If you never launched a successful Kickstarter before, I would not recommend starting now. If you have a successful Kickstarter audience already, or some kind of maybe a prior failed one and you want to relaunch, perhaps you could look into it. Crowdfunding is pretty difficult. It's no longer the nirvana of I throw a random image on there and get $40,000, which happens way too many times. So that's actually how we started in the beginning. We were just a bunch of college kids who, for our first project, we decided to do a Kickstarter, and then we got funded. It wasn't much; it was like just a few $1,000s at the time. But that got us enough ramen to essentially last a couple months and release the game. And then the game started selling, and then we started because it was an educational game about physics and space physics at the time. But that kind of led into other educational games that we continued doing, and then also contract work, which is really interesting. Like Peggy said, you kind of do some pro work sometimes. And yeah, I mean, like we're all self-funded too. I think self-funded is really important if you're passionate for what you do, because otherwise you're just working for someone else again. So it's not quite the same.
Alternatively, studying games. My background, my degree is actually finance. And we have done various types of funding. We've self-funded. We've done the typical indie thing where you contract out and then use that money to fund what you want to do. We've taken money from investors before. We've never done the crowdfunding thing. I have good friends that have done that and been extremely successful, but they didn't use it to raise money. They used it for marketing purposes. So they were already 80-90% down their path, and then they used it for basically the final run. So, and they already had a full marketing plan around crowdfunding planned out. So it's not something just to get you, if you're thinking crowdfunding, that's not to get you started. That's actually a full marketing strategic plan to take you to the finish as opposed to get started. I've used money from friends, from family, all sorts of various over 25 years. They all have their advantages and disadvantages. If you want to go big, you want to sell the company off, your goal is to make gains and basically make a decent amount of money at the end and sell. There are lots of ways to do that, actually. Lots of people say, don't get into games to make money. Well, then, of course, you're getting into whatever your career is to make money. So I disagree with that philosophy. You want to make money, that's great. How much you want to make, that varies in how you approach it. We've taken publisher money. We've sold advanced copies of our games. There's all sorts of different ways. I'm trying to think. Let me run through some of the advantages of doing things and disadvantages of the different approaches, and hopefully other people can chime in too. Funding yourself, you get to do it. You can make all the decisions. And you've got nobody looking at you. You've got nothing else to worry about. As long as you have your own money, you can do things the way you want. Downside is you don't really have too many people checking you. You don't have anybody really to bounce off if you're going down the wrong path or not. Nobody you have to really answer to. And if you fail, all your money is gone. Advantages, you own everything in the end as well. You take publisher money, traditional publisher money. I see some of the advantages that we had is it helped us to have to fund ourselves less. We didn't have to take as many contracts, so our resources, were able to put more resources of our company toward the project, which got stuff done a little faster. They also had a reach that we weren't able to get to. They had distribution channels that we didn't have. This is a little earlier on, so being in stores is actually a big deal at this point. They also had marketing reach that we didn't, including the ability to get into other countries. I don't know how to, I personally don't know how to market in, say, China, but the company that I licensed with does, and they have all the necessary means to do that. I know what I'm good at and what I'm not, so they had expertise that I didn't. Taking funding from people, that was a nightmare. It was easy to get, actually. I know for some people it was difficult. For me, it was actually easy to get that money. Nightmare. It ended up very poorly. I can't get into lots of details about that, but basically it went to legal. They tried to take stuff that we had owned ourselves. We were self-funded for a long time. And then they tried to take it and bankrupt us, which is the odd thing. But apparently that was a really common strategy with a lot of investors, was to give somebody money, try to get them to bankrupt, turn around and then buy things for pennies later, and then take the tech and the IP and go themselves. Now, in the end, we won, but not without a few cuts and bruises here and there.
And I'm sorry, Serafina, we have probably time for one more.
Yeah, sorry. That's a long gap to answer.
Sorry. Please, come see us. I don't want anybody to feel left out. Yes, Pamela.
So there's more to video gaming than just artwork and music and funding. For mathematicians like myself, who are also passionate about gaming, what field in gaming do you see them being most successful?
Machine learning.
Or analytics.
Analytics, yeah.
Especially in today's mobile market, like everything is about analytics and on all sides. Part of like how do we get users, where do we get users from? Are we getting good users, quality users that want to stick around and pay and play, or play and pay? To just like how do we optimize our game systems and how do we make the stuff inside of our games work better? If you really love math, I mean obviously there's programming and there's physics and all kinds of stuff on the programming side. But if you're more just kind of straight mathematician, analytics, machine learning, both of those are critical.
And not just like how do I build this game so that it's optimized and things like that, but like, hey, there are 17 million players right now, and here's the different demographics for them, and here's how I'm going to make this game work so that it targets this.
Engine building is a huge one too. Like Unreal and Unity, they're always going to be hiring acquisitions. Steam, Valve.
Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That gets me excited.
Yeah. I'm like, she's smart.
A lot of companies would love to have very, very good, strong mathematicians. Yeah.
Cool. Everybody wants good mathematicians.
Well, that wraps it up for us, guys. There isn't a panel coming in right now, right? Okay, so please feel free to come up and talk, but it is now 1:22. If you need to go to another panel or something, just kind of letting you know what time it is. Otherwise, feel free to hang out for a bit and ask more questions.